The Chinese have a lunar series, a host of 12 sacred animals that have traits that have carried generations. What would it look like if America had such a series? What animals would carry the banner for our generations, and what exactly would the journey mean? Find out today on the Culture of Currency as we create a silver coin lunar series for the United States. I'm fresh off a video highlighting the lunar rabbit coin from the nation of Bhutan. This is one of many lunar videos I have made, which made me think, what would the USA version look like? What would the story hold, and how awesome would it be to have 12 coins in a series run through a partnership of North American mints? I've put some thought to this and think that I have a list and want to know what animals you think would fit best in our series. And if you are not American, what would be the 12 animals of your host nation? I want to be clear, America is great, but it is not because we are American. From Austria to Australia, from China to Cambodia, this nation is made up of those who came from another place. Even the native tribes came by trails and boats to this land, bringing the best of their ancestors' traits. We are great because of the places we came from, and keeping those best things alive in this nation of bounty. Before we get to our list of American lunar animals, we must talk about the Chinese lunar cycle in brief so that we can follow a similar path. In this ancient tradition, the Jade Emperor wanted to have 12 animal guardians of a holy land. A race was formed in which their succession of completion gave them an eternal place in favor of the Jade Emperor. Now let's talk USA. This is a land full of unique, beautiful animals and places, and yet the most beautiful things are not something you can touch or feel. They are intangible. Truth, justice, liberty, and fraternity are things that we strive for. We miss the mark at times, and many could argue that we're in the midst of missing the mark currently, but that does not mean that we give up. As Americans, this is the most noble and needed of challenges to meet. This being said, our Jade Emperor will be in fact those intangibles listed, and the path of the race will be across the Potomac to our White House and congressional offices, which are supposed to be the pillars of such things. The following are the orders and stories of the Noble 12 from first to last. The first animal to make it across the finish line is the Canadian goose. This animal knows that it has the best altitude and eyes to make sure the way is safe and navigable by its companions. Not only does the goose cross first, it also flies back to communicate the way to the other companions, as for this race is among Americans, and though we all compete, we all are together. The goose is known for raising the alarm while others are resting and staying with those who are injured among its flock. It is a noble bird and worthy of many in our land who put others before themselves, and even when they have reached their goal, go back to make sure others are taken care of. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the 1-ounce American lunar goose. Next across the line, in second place, is the sure-footed Bighorn Sheep. This forager of the timberline can master the most extreme environments. It is one of the only animals versed in the sacred paths only known by those who have walked them. The sure-footedness should remind us of the narrow path we walk in our attempts to be the best version of ourselves. This skilled navigator traverses our mountains with ease, never fearful of the low places in life. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the 1-ounce American lunar bighorn. Our third in the quest is the honeybee. This industrial insect has the capacity of flight, which is a huge advantage, but as it makes its way, it makes sure that the path would be both beautiful and bountiful as it pollinates. America's great industries have symbolically been represented by the tenacity and ingenuity of the honeybee. Everything it touches turns to gold in the form of honey. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the 1-ounce American lunar honeybee. Our fourth animal is a surprise, as it is the American black bear. Not the surest of foot nor the fastest, but what it has is intensity and hyper-focus, as it trails the sweet golden path set before him by the bee. This strong creature will move rocks, climb trees, and cross lakes in following its goals, and reminds us of those who sacrifice everything for a goal. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the 1-ounce American Lunar Black Bear. Coming in fifth is the California Condor, often forgotten and on the brink of extinction. This master of nature's first responders prevents the spread of many diseases by doing a job no one would want. This should remind us of the janitors, police officers, teachers, nurses, postal workers, and others who constantly do a job that many of us would never take. Many of these positions are on the brink of collapse, just like the Condor. This master of its domain flies high, and with the help of our government and people willing to render aid, is slowly building its numbers. The Condor reminds us to always be aware of those in positions of the most critical need, and our job to make sure that those industries stay strong. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the 1-ounce American Lunar Condor. Halfway at number 6 is the thunder of the Great Plains. We are talking about the American bison. This brute of strength can stand in the wind of the harshest blizzards and weather the hottest days, just like the resolve of our people. This animal was leveled but never completely destroyed and is now in a position to build its numbers in a very sustainable way. This was the sustenance of our first peoples, and every single piece of this animal was made use of by those natives, which should remind us that every sacrifice for the greater good should be honored. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the 1-ounce American Lunar Bison. We have a large gap between the 6th and 7th animals due to the way in which the animal travels. Up next we have the Diamondback Rattlesnake. This animal has a don't get in my way, mess with me, or try to stop me mentality. It pays the courtesy of reminding us when we cross a line before striking, and also makes its own path. It is rugged and traditionally has rough skin. As that skin gets more and more rough, the eyes begin to cloud. But it should be known that as it grows, it sheds that rough skin and for a time is beautifully smooth and can see clearly. This should remind us of our pride. It will save us at times, but will draw lines if we are too rough in our methods, blinding us to the real truth, which is that we are all equal, and we should fight for each other's individual freedom, especially if we disagree. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the 1-ounce American Lunar Rattlesnake. Number 8 to cross the line is the wily and cautious Bobcat. This animal is often not seen unless it wants to be. It walks without a trace and always has a keen sense of surroundings. It does not plant a step unless it is with intention. It is beautiful and quiet and mirrors the ideas of Teddy Roosevelt when he said, "Speak softly and carry a big stick." This creature never says a word and has been documented taking down a deer. This animal is agile and quick, but it is cautious in nature and makes sure that the way is correct before marching it. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the 1-ounce Lunar Bobcat. Number 9 to cross the line is another expert of industry and hard work. We are talking about the North American beaver. The beaver knew of a creature who would not be able to make the journey without his help. So the beaver created vast bodies of water throughout the path so that those who needed water would have it. This creature is not worried about his place, as he is more concerned with the work that needs to be done. I think we all know somebody who fits that bill. Maybe it's your grandfather or brother. Maybe it's the single mother that lives down the street, or the preacher who never gives up on his community. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the 1-ounce Lunar Beaver. 10th across the line is the great American alligator. Without the help of the beaver, this reptile would never finish the journey. Though they are often foes, they know that one does not exist without the other, as balance is needed in all things in nature to thrive. The ebb and flow of creation and destruction is a part of our fabric and sacred. The alligator is not fast, but it is always in control. It knows its place and does not find comfort in areas that are unknown. It is tough-skinned and sharp-toothed, but when life is cold, this animal does not raise the attack, but rather conserves its energy for a better day. We should take note, as we should never hit a man when he is down, but conserve our energy for the use for the betterment of all. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the 1-ounce American Lunar Alligator. Number 11 on our list is an odd animal. I hesitated putting this animal on our list But I think it offers something that we often see but don't talk about. We are talking about the manatee. The manatee will never make it across the line. It will not even attempt. The race will not be finished. This manatee is a ghost that often is forgotten and unnoticed. It is trampled by boat motors, often leading to its demise. This is to remind us of those who drift, for one reason or another, away from the standard experience. Maybe it is a prisoner of war or missing in action serviceman. Maybe it is a struggling veteran. It could be someone with special needs, forgotten by family, or a seasoned elder forgotten in a nursing home, to grow old in seclusion. This animal is one that will never find its way, and yet it is not in last place. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the 1-ounce American lunar manatee. Our last in order is the bald eagle. Many of you would assume that this would have been first. To me, if we have a companion behind in the manatee, the eagle will never return to its nest nor its quest. This eagle will never leave the manatee, as even forgotten, it needs to be defended, loved, and honored. As is written in the good book, the first shall be last, and the last shall be first, and what you have done to the least of these, you have done to me. The eagle completes the cycle by making sure all in the cycle are accounted for. It has the tools of battle, but is more concerned with saving, as it did not fly to condemn its companions, but rather to save them. This is the defender of freedom, as it did not force the manatee to finish its quest, but flies with the hope that one day it will see all of its companions make it home. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the 1-ounce lunar eagle. This is my lunar series for our great land and people. Maybe if we get this to go viral, we can get a mint to at least create rounds for this, but I hope that a sovereign mint, like maybe the Royal Canadian Mint or our own U.S. Mint, will take an opportunity for we the people to see the stories and beauty of our land, animals, and people in coin form, so that we may remind ourselves that who or what we see at the bus stop, airport security line, grocery store, forest, or field are the best in us, built by those who came before us. Every inch of land outside of our borders and brought in to become us. If you are still with me at this point, thank you for hearing me out, and spread this video so that maybe we can create something like this. Maybe we can even have a series around the world that does the same. I would love to know what a lunar series would look like in Australia or Rwanda. I would love to know the importance of animals or themes in Japan or India. Please comment below what you think of this list, and if you are outside of the country, what would be your list? Let's do our part to try to elevate silver coins to a level that changes the way we see each other. Thank you so much for watching, and please remember to stay classy and current with the culture of currency.